Okay, here we are inside of the Facebook Ads Manager, and I'm going to show you how to set up custom audiences and lookalike audiences. So you can see here I'm inside the Ads Manager. If you go over here to the Tools section and drop down, just click on Audiences here, and this is where you'll get started. This is a new ad account. I haven't set up any audiences before, so this is what it'll look like when you come in here for the first time. So you can see here, custom audiences, again, connect with people who have already shown an interest in your business or product with custom audiences. You can create an audience from your customer contacts, website traffic, or mobile app. So customer contacts, if you have the email addresses or phone numbers of customers, you can upload those up into Facebook, and Facebook will try and match those email addresses and phone numbers to email addresses and phone numbers from Facebook profiles. And if it can, it will create an audience from those people. And seeing anywhere from 50 to 70% of contacts that you upload match Facebook profiles, because you won't always have the right email addresses or phone numbers that people use in their personal profiles. But the way that you'll most commonly use this is people who have visited your website, or, and this is why it was very important that you set up your pixel early on, is people who have done certain things that have been tracked by your pixel. So you'll use that information to create your audiences. So let me just show you how here. You'll do create a custom audience, and you can see here your options: customer list, website traffic, or app activity. We're going to go ahead and go to website traffic, and you can see here some options for me to start creating custom audiences. So I can choose anyone who visits my website, and I would just put in my website's domain right there. I can choose people who have visited specific web pages. So this is real handy. Say you have an opt-in page, and you want to be able to retarget people who visited that opt-in page but didn't opt in. Okay, so you could create a custom audience of people who visited that opt-in landing page, and then you can see here next down people visiting specific web pages but not others. So you could choose to target people who visited the opt-in page but not the landing page. Okay, so that's how you would know if somebody visited the opt-in page but didn't opt in. They didn't actually make it to the thank you page that they would land on after they opted in. So you can do some really powerful things here. Let's say that you're writing blog posts on particular topics. Well, you can create a custom audience of people who have visited the blog posts on those topics, so that you can then follow up with them with ads that are addressing products related to those specific topics. So this is super powerful, and this is how you get the benefits of doing retargeting or remarketing from your ad campaigns. Now, one of the things that you can do here that's really cool is this custom combination option. And this is where you can add a variety of different conditions. So you can say, somebody who has visited a URL that contains certain keywords. So let's say on those blog posts that we talked about, I don't know, maybe you write blog posts on nutrition and exercise, and let's say every blog post that was written about nutrition, you make sure had the keyword nutrition in the URL. That's a really easy way to create an audience where you target all of the people who have visited for nutrition. And you can add more and more conditions here, so you can create multiple conditions. So you can say the URL contains nutrition, but the URL equals something else, or you could say there's an event, right? So in the event, this is where you can use your pixel events. So you can say traffic that meets URL contains nutrition, and they were a lead event. The lead event was fired. So my nutrition leads I want to be able to show ads to. This is how I could do that. So you can create these multiple conditions that you can create a combination around to create your audience. Now, one of the things that you can do when creating custom audiences is you can determine how long of a time period you want Facebook to look back to gather this audience. So in other words, you can say, show me the people that meet these conditions that have visited the site in the last 30 days, or you can say 60, or you can say 90. The maximum is up to 180 days. So it really just depends, obviously based on just the idea of recency, right? Somebody who has been to your site in the last 5 days is worth more, most likely, than somebody who was there 180 days ago. So you may want to create different audiences of people that have visited over different time periods and target them in different ways, run different ads to them, whatever it is. And then you can just give your audience a name so you can easily identify it, and then create that audience. And it'll take Facebook, depending on how big of an audience it is that it's going and looking at and how long of a time period, it'll take 15 minutes, a half an hour before you start seeing that audience grow in your Facebook ad interface here. But Facebook will pretty quickly start putting that together for you. So it's really you just kind of come in here and play around and explore some of the different ideas of how you can use this. It's really super powerful, and something that you definitely want to take advantage of. You want to be able to show your ads to people who have already visited, who have already expressed interest, who have already bought certain products, and that's what you can do with custom audiences. Okay, and then lookalike audiences right here. Click on lookalike audiences. And again, what we're doing with lookalike audiences is we are creating a new audience based off of an audience that we already have some sort of experience with. So you can see right here, you want to choose the source for this new custom audiences. So you're saying, Facebook, here's the source of people that I want you to model when you go out and find me this new audience. So you can model off of a custom audience, which we just created over here, right? So you can say, hey, these are all the people that have opted in and become leads. I can create that custom audience. And then what I can do is I can create a lookalike audience where I'm telling Facebook, find me people who are like the people who became leads on my website. So you can choose that custom audience that you just created as a source. You can also choose it based off of the conversion tracking pixel or a specific page, and then you can choose a country that you want these people to come from. You can only choose one country at a time right now. And then here, the audience size, so you can see here, audience size ranges from 1 to 10% of the total population in the country you choose, with 1% being those who most closely match your source. So what you're telling Facebook here is, either grab me a small target audience here at 1%, so this is going to be people that Facebook says are much more like the audience that I chose as my source, or you can say, hey, Facebook, give me as many of them as you can way out here at 10%, and this will be a more loosely targeted audience based off of this source. So there's no right or wrong here. It's just this is more targeted, this is less targeted, but this is going to be much bigger and give you a bigger population. Really what we do is we create multiple audiences, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, and we test them to see how they do for us, and that's really all you can do. But that's how you set up a lookalike audience, and again, using custom audiences and lookalike audiences in combination can be super, super powerful. This is a more advanced strategy, so if this is overwhelming to you, don't let it bother you for now. Just try and do your best to be aware that these options exist, and try and just continue to go through these modules and understand how you would use them, so that when you're ready to, you can incorporate them in your campaigns.